Hello, creative friends. This is Joy coming to you with another art journal page. So, on this art journal, I actually had this page that was already gessoed with black gesso a while ago, and I was gonna do a different page with some different ephemera with this, but then I decided to do something else with the ephemera that I had found at that time, and just had this page for a while sitting there, and I had some ephemera or some quotes and a poem that I had been wanting to do an art journal page with for quite a long time and just never got around to it, and thought, well, this might be a good start to doing this journal page that I've been wanting to do. And so I decided to take this modeling paste. It's a basic modeling paste, and use it through a couple of stencils on the page for the background. And this is a stencil from Balzer Design that I'm using, and I believe the other one is from the Crafter's Workshop. And I decided to do the modeling paste through the stencils and then color over the modeling paste. And I really like this modeling paste. It dries fairly quickly, within 10-15 minutes, and when it does dry, it's flexible, so it doesn't it's not going to chip off or whatever off of your page. And so this particular journal page I had been wanting to do for a while. I've had this poem for quite some time, and it's a bit of a personal poem for me. And so this is more of a personal page, and I just couldn't quite figure out what I wanted to do with the poem. And I decided, like I said, that today was the day to go ahead and do something with it. And I searched through my stash of quotes, and I found two other quotes that went nicely with the poem that I thought would be appropriate. And so I have the poem and then two quotes that I'm going to put on this page. So after I do the modeling paste, I just let it dry for 10-15 minutes, and while it's drying, I pulled out my watercolors because I didn't want to put the two quotes in the poem on the page, with just the white paper. I wanted it to be some kind of colored background. And so the one quote that I just painted blue, it says, "It has been said that time heals all wounds. I do not agree. The wounds remain. In time, the mind protects its sanity, covers them with scar tissue, and the pain lessens, but it is never gone." And that's by Rose Kennedy. And then the pink quote says, let's see, "The defects and faults of the mind are like wounds in the body. After all imaginable care has been taken to heal itself up, still there will be a scar left behind." And that's by Franco Della Roche. And then the bigger piece that I decided to paint with blues and greens is a poem, and it's called "Have You No Scars" by Amy Carmichael. And here I'm painting the modeling paste with some paint. This is fluorescent paint that I just picked up at Walmart. And so I wanted to, paint do some bright colors on this page. So that's what I'm doing here with these fluorescent paints. But the poem says, "Jesus speaks to us. Have you no scar, no hidden scar on foot or side or hand? I hear you sung as mighty in the land. I hear them hail your bright ascending star. Have you no scar, have you no wound? Yet I was wounded by the archer, leaned me against the tree to die, and rent by ravenous beasts that encompassed me. I swooned. Have you no wound, no scar? Yes, as the master shall the servant be, and pierced are the foot that follow me. but yours are whole. Can he have followed for who has no wound, no scars? Can she have followed far who has no wound, no scars? So that is the poem, Have You No Scar, which is what I named this page. And like I said, this is a more personal page for me. And when I've had this poem for, gosh, probably about a year, maybe a little longer, wanting to do a journal page with it, but not sure exactly what to do, or even if once I did complete the journal page, it would, be something that I would want to share. Because, like I said, it is, a more personal page for me. But I decided that, I would like to share it. I really like the way the page turned out. I like this technique of using the modeling paste and bright colors against the black gessoed background. So I really am happy with the way this turned out by the time I was finished with it. So here I have my quotes and my poem, and I was debating on whether to just put the poem on there whole like that or cut it into pieces. And right now I'm cutting off like the author that is off to the side. I didn't feel like that big piece of paper needed to be on there, so I'm going to glue the author to those quotes on underneath. But the poem itself, I just decided it was covering up too much of the page, and I really didn't want to cover up that much page, so I do end up cutting it into smaller pieces as well and putting it on the page. So before I put the quotes down and the poem down, I decided that I wanted the edges, black with, edged with black gesso. So that's, or black gesso, edged with black ink. So that's what I'm doing here, and I'm using StazOn ink, which is a good thing to use StazOn if you're going to use wet medium on top, because in that way it won't smear or run on you, which I plan to do when I put down these pieces of paper on this art journal page. So here I'm cutting up the quote into smaller pieces because I really like the way the background turned out, and I really kind of wanted to see more of it instead of covering it all up. So I decided that it would, not cover up so much to cut it into pieces, and I was thinking about doing it staggered like you see there, but I do end up in the end just putting the pieces on straight. I don't end up doing it staggered. I decided that I didn't really, I guess, care for it staggered like that as much, and plus it didn't seem like that, it was all kind of, went together, that it was a poem, that all, the pieces went together as much as it did once, I kind of put them all together in a straight row. So that's why, another reason why I decided to not stagger them. But I like the way that the page turned out, and I thought it was appropriate for the poem and the quotes and stuff, and what it's talking about and what it represents. So I was really happy with how this all turned out. So I have this collage page, which I need to get more. It's running out. That I used to put down these pieces, and it was a little bit of a challenge to get it down on the page, since the page had the texturing paste on it with the that I had put on it. So it was a little bit of a challenge, but I did manage to get all the edges down and get it, stuck down on the page well enough to where, I don't think it's going to come up. So this is pretty much the art journal page once I get down all these pieces using the collage page. But I think, like I said, the poem and then the quotes are a little more personal because I think that, it just seems like everybody really has, you know, scars of some kind, whether they be physical scars or mental scars. I mean, I don't think anybody, gets out of this world unscathed, I mean, everybody has something in their lifetime, to where they have, things that they have to deal with and things that they have to try to overcome. And, that's I guess, part of life, that's all a part of life. So that's why this is, kind of a personal, page for me because me, like everybody else, I've had things in my life, where I've, just had some things that I've had to try to overcome and some things that I'm still trying to overcome. And I, as an artist, it seems like we even have more things that we have to try to overcome because we all seem to have you know, um, our issues or whatever you want to call it. Challenges. There you go. That's probably a better word. Our challenges. So, and that some people may say that, well, that's probably what makes us a better artist. So anyway, this little area here seemed like it needed a little bit more added to it, so I added a little bit more modeling paste and a little bit more color. But that's pretty much Art Journal page for today, so I hope you liked the video, and if you do, you can like, subscribe to my channel, or leave a comment. I would love to hear from you, and I thank you for watching, and we will talk to you guys again soon. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.